Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Norway. Still building up our empire, piece by piece, slowly over time we'll get things together, don't you worry about that. I think our main objective this episode is to try to just get Egypt dealt with. If we can get Egypt dealt with, we can move on to start taking on Gorgo. And then once Gorgo's dealt with, it should be a pretty easy beeline for the capital of China, and then finally the capital of Nubia. I'm thinking the current plan is basically take on these guys. I will also potentially, once I have Navy unlocked, be building a little bit of a Navy to send out preemptively to see if I can grab Sadanga to use as a staging area to attack Moreau. That'll be sort of a longish term goal. Probably won't start that until next episode. We'll be taking out these cities, liberating Geneva, then moving on to liberate Antananarivo, kill Carthage, get all the way. Probably will totally eliminate Dido. Then we'll amass an army on the border with China and prepare to basically blitzkrieg through Beijing, Chengdu, Jiaodao, and Hejian, and then move on for Shenyang, El Karoo, and Moreau, and sort of try to a pincer attack. That's why I'm saying I'll send a navy over here with a small land army to sort of time up with this pincer attack. But the main thrust and throw is going to be over here in this area. And then this sort of naval stuff will be sort of just like an afterthought and kind of just like a little bit of extra support. Right, so with all that in mind, let's get our units on the move. We have a couple of extra units over here, and now in Nidaros. Again, I would love to build these barracks buildings, but it's kind of hard to justify it when units are so cheap right now, and I have so many strategic resources on hand. So I'm just going to keep pumping out coursers. I grabbed myself a pikeman over here. I do want to try to build up a bit of productivity. Like, that's pretty important to me as well. And getting stuff like these lumber mills online will help with that. If I could get this armory up, I'll be able to build future units a little bit easier. This city definitely needs another builder though, because it's got some fishing tiles that I could improve. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop out another builder in Cologne. I'll be able to make use of all of those build charges. I'm really tempted to go for the armory here. The city doesn't really have enough production to justify it, so I'm probably just going to pop out support, like, and I don't mean support units, but like less important units like pikemen who still have a role in the conquest. Frankfurt, on the other hand, has plenty of production, so I could very easily justify maybe popping down an aqueduct right here, then popping down an industrial zone right here to get some really strong industry going in Frankfurt, and then being able to build these more late game units as a support. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll also pop a farm down here so the city can continue to grow. So yeah, we're going to focus on that. We could be producing units, but what I'm going to do is produce units in my slightly weaker cities, use my stronger cities to try to build up so they can build more late game stuff. Because I already have like a big enough army to do what I need to do over here, in my opinion. So it's really just about trying to efficiently get to the next step. I'm going to pop over here to get some pillaging done too. There's also a nice mine right on the coast here that I'll be able to get a coastal raid on. Make sure we step away from that crossbowman and stuff so we don't just get shot for no reason. Now we have this horseman positioned over here in the east from earlier when we were pillaging Iwin. Another Plains Hill tile that I'd like to get improved, as well as this Plains Hill right here that I want to get improved. When I'd like try to just get mines on my Plains Hills as much as I can, and then just use the chopping to grow the city, and then try to feed it with farm triangles and these nice tiles out here. I was going to go for the Huey, but it looks like somebody else built the Huey, so that's kind of, you know, sucky. Unless I'm crazy and I'm just not seeing it anymore. I'm pretty sure somebody built it. There's still a courser over here causing me issues. Looks like I have been discovered with this longship. Best move is probably just to try to get out of range and not be spotted. Right, we'll pop a mine down here in Alisund, giving us another productive tile. Things are looking great in here. Mutual open borders with China, and he also wants to buy a little bit of my horses. I'll take that deal. Right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of damage over here in Utica. Looks like the AI is looking to cause me some issues. I use both of these units, I can potentially get a kill. More importantly, get a promotion on this guy, meaning he's a little bit less vulnerable. I'm worried about this guy, so I'm going to pop him back to here, where he's a little bit safer. I'm less worried about this spearman, so I'm going to focus on killing the coursers here. They're kind of the dangerous unit, in my opinion. We'll go ahead and get an aqueduct going in here so the city can continue to grow as well. I think a campus and library will be a good move to do in here, because I just need that little bit of extra science to get more of these late game units. Could definitely use a builder in here to do some improvements, so let's go ahead and faith purchase ourselves a builder. Also pop you back inside the city to get healed up. Right, there's a crossbowman inside the city. That's not a big deal. I think I'm going to prioritize taking on... Oh, not enough movement left. Oh, well, let's go ahead and coastally raid this mine, get a bit of science. And a nice chunk of gold. Right, so I need to deal with this crossbowman here that stepped outside the city. Should be a fairly straightforward kill. We can start pillaging here as well to get faith to be able to fuel our builder purchasing. There's a crossbowman running around out here to the north. I might send like one of my units up here to deal with that, like the old little berserker. Also get some of our melee units moving in the right direction to support that attack as well. Granary completed in here. I could see an argument for the arena. It would help prevent this city absorbing up amenities. Right now it's getting no amenities from luxuries, and it's probably going to grow and start causing that problem. So if I just grab the arena in here, this city will just not cause me issues. It could use a builder too, actually, so I'll get a builder going in here. Get out of my way. I'm going to try to hide this Viking longship in the corner where it's probably safest. Get this amber online, which will give me a few extra amenities. More importantly, once we have cartography, it'll give me even more gold. Now, with regards to Stavanger, I'm going to build an aqueduct right here on this tile. This will be sort of a long-term development of this city, and I'll put an industrial zone on this tile. Again, long-term development plans. And the reason for putting the industrial zone here is because it'll get +1 adjacency from this quarry. Because I also own the, whatever this thing is called, the Machu Picchu, it'll get +1 adjacency from the mountain. So that's +2. It'll get so let me do the counting with a pin, I guess, is probably a better way to do it. So we get +1 from the mountain. We also get +1 for being adjacent to horses. We also get +1 for being adjacent to the mountain. So mountain, horses, and quarry all give +1, so that's total of +3. Then it'll get +2 for being adjacent to the aqueduct. And then it'll also get another +1 for being adjacent to 2 districts. So that'll be a total of 6 adjacency, which is a pretty damn good industrial zone, because we can also get ourselves like a coal power plant and all that sort of stuff in here. And this will eventually just be a really, really powerful city with regards to production. It'll take a while for it to get there, and it's kind of a late settled city, so it might not do much in terms of actually like contributing towards the win condition. But I always like to try to build up interesting cities in any case. All right, let's chop here to get this industrial zone going. 2 turns on that one. We've unlocked guilds. None of this stuff really matters to me. I guess I could find a city where Chichen Itza would have made sense, and it would have been Bergen actually, but I've already chopped out a lot of this jungle. I mean, in theory, we could go for the Chichen Itza. Like, it's a valid move, in my opinion, in this city. Like, if I chop here, because I plan to chop here and put mines down anyway, and then go ahead and just place the Chichen Itza here. I'm also going to want this tile, because this city is no longer food positive. I'll build a mine there. I'm going to want to put a farm over there. But if I get to work on the Chichen Itza, I mean, I could just make this into a really interesting city. It's not really a domination type thing, but I think it'll make it really, really interesting in terms of how productive these rainforest tiles can be. All right, let's pop in here, pop down a lumber mill. Very nice. Good production line happening. Not sure if I agree with working the faith tile. Probably just means I want to buy this niter and get another builder charge on top of it. We'll get that sorted next turn. I'm also going to faith purchase a trader in Cadet to get a road starting up towards Stavanger, so I can get my army out of here a little bit easier. Right now, I have most of my army in and around here, and once we're done here, I'm thinking we're going to swing up around the mountain, ideally, with the main force. I might send some of the force down through here, although I'll kind of have to think about that one. All right, so let's step forward with our siege and artillery units and our, just generally ranged units, and start bopping away on this city with them. I'm also going to retreat the swordsman back to a healthy distance and move the knight in. I'll also get a pillage with this guy right here. I'd love to pillage this turn. I'm also going to pillage this because I want as much faith right now as possible. I could switch my government around. I don't really think I have anything I want to change. I guess you could make an argument for swapping out professional army. I think it's fine the way it is. I could also make an argument for swapping in caravanseries because production is less important than gold right now for me, because my gold is kind of dictates my military power and not my production, because I need to be able to upgrade my units, not build more. All right, let's start at least repairing some of these tiles that I pillaged. This city should fall in the next couple of turns. You need to fall back to a safe spot because there's a crossbowman harassing you. Let's go ahead and take on this little catapult with my horsemen over here. I guess I can use the knight to do a huge chunk of damage, but I am going to want to pillage these sphinxes before I kill this city, because these sphinx will disappear anyway, so I should just get some value out of them while I can. Oh dear, I did not see this crossbowman approaching to cause me issues. Let's get the berserker in position to do something about that. I'm going to keep this catapult fortified so that it's a little bit safer from this crossbowman, and we'll maybe get some units in range to deal with it next turn. I think a couple of pastors in here wouldn't be wrong at all. It'll give the city a mixture of food and production. Again, I'm more worried about these units than I am the spearmen, so I want to take out the cavalry first. I also need to prevent this knight from getting a surround on my unit, so let's go ahead and form a little bit of a support triangle. The triangle is a great position to have your units in because it means they will provide combat strength to each other. I think the total combat strength they will provide to each other is +4 in most situations. We'll also get these horses online. You can never have too many horses, I guess. Pop a mine down for Christian sand. That'll give it a nice production line. Do I want to work that tile? The city will grow slowly. I think I value food over production in this city because it's at its housing cap, so I'll pop that in there and save a couple turns on this Grandmaster's Chapel. You want to buy my Niter. I want to avoid giving any really strong strategic resources to people just to delay how long it'll take them to get their sort of late game power units like musketmen and stuff like that.
There were 7.
Hey, we finished the terracotta army, which is perfect. It means I get a whole bunch of upgrades on my units. Brilliant. It means I can do things like this, for example. Take the crew weapons, which gives them combat strength when defending. Also means I can maybe do something about this crossbowman. Get my swordsman and my catapult in. I'll shoot with the catapult, hit with the berserker. And the nice thing is we're getting some flanking bonuses from the catapult moving up as well, which means we take a little bit less damage and we kill more efficiently. Lumber mill right here for Abydos, of course. Need some productive tiles. Now, since we finished the armory, or not the army, sorry, the terracotta army in here, I'm going to take a moment to assess this city. I'd like to also build the Alhambra for the extra military policy slot, but I don't think Mainz is the right city to do that. It has a bit of a weak production line compared to, for example, Alisund, which could get it a little bit quicker because it's still growing very aggressively and will fill up productive tile slots. I'll probably just spend a bit of time building up some regular old stuff like commercial hubs, harbors, any of that sort of jazz. I think a stave church with the +4 food, +4 faith in Mainz actually has a lot of value now that we actually have a fishing tile, because now it's worth 4 food, 4 faith, and probably more like 4 food, 5 faith, and 1 production. So I think that's a pretty valuable move there. We're going to send this trade route from Rakadet to Stavanger because we want the road to be able to evacuate our units once the war is done. Right, let's pillage this. We'll upgrade later. It's like a bit of a lower priority for me. And I actually really like getting the first 2 promotions here. Like, these are nice, don't get me wrong. Like, the reinforced hull is great. But I'm actually like a big fan of getting Embelon and Helmsman because it makes them really mobile for pillaging and stuff like that. I don't know, it's kind of like a little personal preference-y type thing. Step into position to start pillaging there. You're going to pop into the city to take a heal. Pursuit is really nice. It means my horses are just that little bit more mobile. We're keeping on shooting this city. I could take it this turn, but I kind of want to get the pillage on like the Sphinx and stuff. So I'll hold off for another turn and get these 2 Sphinx pillages. As for Rakadet itself, I'm just going to go ahead and get the basic infrastructure like the granary and the watermill to get it up and running so that it can actually contribute to the war effort. Similar sort of stuff in Hamar. This is a very weak city who was mainly built to provide a little bit of loyalty pressure. There is a builder on the way to help it out. Right, let's buy this Niter to be able to give this city a real tile to work as opposed to working the holy site. Time to get rid of this knight. Is it worth it to attack here? I'll take a lot of damage. I think I'm just going to take promotions here. Now, the really nice thing about this cavalry right here, he now has escort mobility, so I can attach support units to him and he'll be able to run them around really fast. All right, like I said, we'll get these extra little pillages out so that we have a bunch of extra faith to be able to purchase little fellows with, the builders. Now, we'll just get a little bit of extra experience. You actually have a promotion. Does anyone need a promotion? Not really. So I guess we'll just finish this off with the knight and call it a day. Now we just have to go over and take this city, as well as deal with this crossbowman who's running around to cause me an issue. Of course he is. So I'll step this catapult forward, and an interesting thing about catapults is they can't shoot if they only have 1 movement, unless you move a great general in range of them that boosts them, and then they can shoot because the game considers them. I don't know how it works. It's just a weird thing. It's just for whatever reason that works, and it just does the thing. I wish I could explain that. So at this point I have Battlecry and Commando. I like to pick up Tortoise to make them really strong, and then Urban Warfare, and then maybe Elite Guard. So there's Tortoise. This guy's really good at taking damage. I'd like to do a bit of damage to this crossbowman and move another crossbowman over and finish him off. Brilliant. Also take the emplacement promotion here. We're almost at the ability to shoot twice on this guy. Now these longships have sort of outlived their usefulness in this war. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them back to my territory up here to be upgraded to caravels and form a part of the fleet that I plan to send against the Nubians. Or what are they called? Yeah, the Nubian Empire. I got them a little bit confused there for a second. Right, we'll keep that city. Right, now that we have cartography, there's an argument to be made for going for square rigging. I think I'm going to pick up gunpowder first because I am about to boost it by building an armory in a few turns. Okay, the catapults have come out of the woodwork over here in Utica. Let's see if we can't deal with this further away catapult, because my cavalry should have no problem dealing with this one. Soon we should be able to start pushing back against Dido, but not quite yet. Probably in the near future. I almost have enough cavalry in the area to start forming an actual army. Time to start doing a bit of damage to these guys over here and seeing if we can't take out some of these units that are causing me issues. Got this archer here that I think I can kill pretty cleanly. There we go. Right, I think I've spent enough of this era building up units, and I'd like to build up some other stuff like barracks and stuff like that. So let's get them going. Similarly, over here in Aachen, I've built quite a few units, and I'd like to get stuff like the arena up because the city is suffering negative amenities. And amenities are a bit of a problem for me right now. If I go into the city status screen, you can see a lot of my cities are displeased. I don't have a huge amount of war weariness. It's just pretty rough in terms of just the lack of amenities for me right now. Right, we'll chop for the Chichen Itza, and eventually we'll get that going. Oh, we get another lumber mill over here. The city is so amazingly productive. Look at that, 36 production per turn, building Chichen Itza in 14 turns. And what's nice about the Chichen Itza is that it'll propel me in terms of culture towards nationalism, which will allow me to combine my units, and then eventually up to mobilization, which is fantastic. Exactly what I'm hoping for from this. And it'll also provide me with a lot of productivity from these rainforest tiles. You could maybe make the argument that I shouldn't have chopped out so many of the rainforests, but I think it was justified. Just ask Brazil. Ho, ho, ho. That's a depressing joke. Pillage here for extra faith. We've got plenty of faith stored up. I'm going to try to have a quick look around, see if there's anywhere that needs builders. I think Hamar has been neglected for a very long time. And since I'm done harvesting in Bergen, I'm going to move Magnus over to Hamar, where I could definitely get a few harvests in to build that up. Chop, chop, get that campus repaired, immediately get to work on the library. Just want to get that little bit of extra science. Very nice. The AI is constantly asking me for peace, but I'm not interested in it at all. Frankfurt Aqueduct done. I'm not quite ready to purchase this tile, so I'll quickly just get a monument to maybe encourage this city to grow its borders to it a little bit quicker. I just grab a market in Memphis for the extra trade route. Not really much is ever going to come from this city. I mean, I guess if I give it enough time, it would be useful, but this is not a city I'm going to invest my time into. Right, time to start pillaging the hell out of Dido. Now that we have an army capable of really bringing the fight to her. Don't know if I can kill that spearman, but we will start moving units up to be in position to cause her some problems. Sorry, did I say Dido? Yeah, it is Dido. I often get Dido and Gorgo mixed up, so please forgive me. I've actually changed my mind about Egypt, and instead of completely murdering her, I'm going to leave her with these two cities. So let's go ahead and go into peace with her. Oh, apparently she just does not want peace. I'm asking for way too much. All right. I guess I will have to murder her. Hey, we got a bit of error score for building after a natural wonder damaged a tile. It was this tile. I don't see what natural wonder did damage to it. Like maybe it was like a dust storm. I see some of these tiles have like a little bit of production on them and they're flat, so maybe that was it. Let's go ahead and pop down some farms for Bjarkøy. Although, is that really what I want to do in Bjarkøy? I definitely want to put a farm right here for this city. Been hanging around for that one for a while. Now the city should be food neutral, or at least food positive. Yeah, it's food positive. Brilliant. Is farms what I really want down here? I think I'd much rather maybe get some lumber mills or something online. You know what? The farm is probably fine. I completely forgot that I had Liang, so I could efficiently purchase builders. Well, I guess better late than never. Better Nate than lever. Gunpowder is finished getting boosted because we built an armory, which means we'll get musketmen in the near future. Let's go ahead and take out this little spearman. Let's get us around on him. We'll steal that builder too. An extra 2 build charges. Cost me nothing. Right, we got this swordsman here who's decided to make himself a bit of a problem. I will take expert marksman on this crossbowman first. Let's get us around. And is it worth it to attack here? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do a bit of damage to him. Similar cost analysis that I'm doing in Cologne now. Now that I have a fishing tile and there's more fishing tiles on the cards in the near future, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Stave Church because that's worth food, production, and faith. Oh, I didn't realize that I could go into Lake Retba with my little units. That's kind of cute. I like that. Maybe we'll go for a Grand Canal. I know I say that like every game, but maybe we'll see if we can get a Panama Canal. I'll see if I get time and production and all that sort of stuff to be able to do it. Be kind of cute. I mean, it's a bit of a pointless one, but it would be cute to use Lake Retba as a canal. Right, we've got Ubin surrounded. I have no idea how to say that city's name, but we're going to hit it with a catapult to get a bit of experience and then bombard it with our ranged units like so. And then we'll mass attack it with our melee units to get it under control. Beautiful. We will keep this city. And maybe next turn we'll see if Cleo wants peace. Kind of did a little bit of a layout for Hamar. I'm considering maybe mostly using this for gold production. That's why I'm laying out a farm triangle to keep the population high, and then a harbour and commercial hub to generate gold. And then I'll use these sort of outside tiles just for, you know, production. Looks like we're going to pick up a free settler over here, which is actually a pretty good thing, because it means I can settle a city over here and start building frigates once I have the musketmen. Now, do I want to go for pike and shot, or do I want to go for square rigging? I think I'm going to go for the pike and shot and the bombard, and then go for square rigging. And probably about the time I have the city settled over here and stuff like that, I'll be able to maybe purchase a couple of frigates to help with some of the initial landings in like China and maybe a bit of an attack on Nubia. So I think stealing this settler is going to work out great for me. Thank you for that settler. Now we just need to get him to somewhere useful is just the only real challenge there. Okay, Carthage has walls. That's us back away. Yeah, this just in, big news. Carthage actually amazingly has walls. Right, now we've got this crossbowman leveled up to level 4. We can double shot the cities and we can get a nice surround going too. City is surrounded on every single tile by units. Do I want to start doing damage to it? Not quite. I'll probably just put them in fortified mode just for a turn or two and then start hitting it. Barracks finished in Nidaros. Of course, we'll pick up the armory. There's a +4 industrial zone right here in Utica, which will make this city into something useful fairly quickly. Bajarkoi has been hit by another flood, and the volcano is active. So this city, you know what, man? I've just given up on this city. It's just gonna sit here and maybe just like build builders for me. Egypt. Do you want peace? She'll actually take peace if I give her a bit of gold. What if I gave you 100 gold? She'll actually take peace, give me basically every city she has for 70 gold. So I'm going to take that deal. That's a pretty good deal. And what it really most importantly does is it concentrates all the grievances in her hands. Now, I would get a lot of era score from completely killing her. However, the downside of that would be every single other civilization in the game would get a whole bunch of grievances against me, which would mean that when we're rolling in through here to conquer Dido, every single one of our cities would have some loyalty problems, or at least greater loyalty problems than we would otherwise expect. So that's why I'm just going to leave Cleopatra. I almost completely forgot her name there. I'm going to leave Cleopatra with a single city, and I don't really care about liberating Geneva in any way. Sweet, we just built the Stave Church, which is worth +4 points towards our Golden Age, or at least our normal age, which is very, very good. We did just recently get a Golden Age. Now, where is my highly upgraded Courser? Don't tell me it just died. Did my Courser just die? Wasn't it here? No, it's over here. Okay, thank goodness. I'm going to use this Courser to carry the settler because he can pick it up and move it really quickly over to this position. Oh, hello. Well then. Right. This is awkward. I need that city, but I need it to be my city. It's going independent. I guess I just settle here and like try to get loyalty pressure on it or something. I don't know. And Tananarivo slowly chipping away. Now I do plan on liberating this city, but it's going to kind of require me to actually be able to kill it. So I'm just slowly chipping away with a crossbowman right now. There is a catapult on the way. It's not too far away, as well as a plethora of other units on the way from my old conquest of Egypt. All right, we picked up gunpowder, giving us access to musketmen and the lesser known bonus of getting +1 production on quarries. We also picked up diplomatic service, which is going to give us access to our very first spies. And we're going to want to pick those up probably over here in the capital. Or yeah, I think the capital is a fine place to pick them up. We could be going for stuff like Alhambra and all that, but I'm going to go ahead and pick up a spy after this armory. And we want the spy to be able to run the diplomatic visibility mission. We're also going to want to pick up printing to get our diplomatic visibility up with enemy players too, because right now I think we're suffering a small penalty. No, actually, I'm not suffering a penalty at all, but we could be, and that's the important thing, is the potential exists for me to be suffering a penalty when I could be reaping the advantages of a bonus. Right, got my high-speed courser locked in with the settler, and now he can pull him around the map. Like his little chariot, you know? Now that we have diplomatic service, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up naval tradition just for the envoy here. It's only a 3-turn thing. I can maybe plug that envoy into somewhere useful. We'll pick up medieval fairs. We'll go straight for mercantilism because we want to be able to build the lumber mills on rainforest, and then we'll go for nationalism. And we want nationalism to be able to combine our units together. Now, I could potentially rush nationalism to civics sooner if I skip naval tradition and mercantilism, but the rainforest lumber mills feel like they're pretty important. Although, you know what? I'm going to rush nationalism. It's the right move. Hey, grab my first great admiral. Very nice. Of course, it would land here somewhere where it is not particularly very useful. I'll teleport it over here. Really don't like spending my gold like this, but for the sake of the city being well developed, I'll give it a farm triangle. Right, now that the heat has died down, I'm going to send this Viking longship to do a little bit of exploration and see if maybe they can pick up a couple of pillages on traders around here. If I was at war with China, I could do it. A whole lot of off-screen army movement happening right now, but it is important to do. Nubia denounced me, which is nice because that means I get some of my grievances that I have against her kind of curtailed, which means I could in theory declare some kind of war against her. Hey, I get Gustavus Adolphus, and really importantly, he'll give me a bombard before I should normally have bombards. So let's go ahead and teleport him to the front line. I don't think we will bother keeping him. I think we will turn him into a bombard. Normal stuff, just start shooting this city. Taking little bites out of it, and now it should be ready to fall. There we go. We will liberate Antananarivo. Probably could make an argument to keep it, but I'll just liberate it for now. Right, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. We achieved our main goal. We kind of changed our goals. We took out most of Egypt's cities. We left them with Geneva, purely for grievances. And we've started the work on taking out Dido. So I think we mainly achieved our goals. We're only 150 turns in, so we're making good time. But until next time, I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.